guys, still coming to you live from the Providence Stadium in Guyana. Right behind me, earlier in the day, I'd given you the latest update about the Indian team practicing, and as I speak, it's the England team, the opposition team that's come out to practice. They're practicing later in the day, in the afternoon, also trying to get used to the conditions, because the England camp admitted they are not very familiar with the conditions here. They haven't played, remember, for a very long time, and while India has had a few tours to the West Indies, this English team hasn't visited the West Indies shores, or at least majority of the players in this English team haven't had the experience of playing in Guyana, whereas India in their recent tours have come, and so have plenty of players that are kind of used to playing in Guyana. This was admitted by the English team camp. Matthew Mott, the coach of the English team, just spoke to us, and in this particular video I'm going to tell you some interesting things that the coach, the English coach, touched upon. Firstly, a quick update of weather which I've been continuously giving you for the last 24 hours. You know, morning Indian team had a practice, rain stopped at 8 AM, India could practice, they've finished practice, it's in the afternoon now, 1:30, the English team is practicing, and it's nice and bright and hot. The rain clouds have disappeared, it's hot and humid. Rain is expected on match day, but there's a 50%, anywhere between 30 to 50% chance, so you may get a little bit of rain here and there. But as I told you in my previous video, drainage here outstanding, so if you get some good spells of sunshine like this, even if it rains on and off, you should still get a good game. Now let's touch upon the important points from the English camp, and what is it that the English team is concentrating at the moment. The first and the most important point, I asked this question to Rohit Sharma when he had come at the press conference as to what has changed for this Indian team. Remember, it's a repeat of the semi-final, India and England. What has changed for this Indian team from 2022 2024? He was non-committal. He did not really spell it out. Though I'll tell you, from the outside, I have noticed that change. We've mentioned it many times, but you can understand why Rohit Sharma did not allude to it, because I don't think he wants to get ahead of himself. So he didn't want to say it in his own words that we've changed our approach. He hinted at that, but didn't say it in as many words. But what has happened with the English team, the coach was asked the exact same question, that you beat India 2 years ago, same stage, T20 World Cup. What is different from that team that you faced, that you beat, to this team that you will be playing? And that is a very interesting answer, and I think an honest and a candid answer from the coach in Matthew Mott. He said that on that occasion, we felt as an English team, now he's giving you the different perspective, he said, we felt as the English team that Indian team were not sure of what is a good total. Those are very interesting words. Very, very interesting word. He says, we as an opposition knew that the Indian team did not know what is a good total. That is why he said that on that track in Adelaide, we put India into bat. He said it was a risky strategy. Risky strategy because the strength of the Indian team is batting, and you're putting them into bat. We took that risk because we knew that they were not sure of what is a good total. But he says, now with the way this Indian team is batting, with the intent that they are showing, we know that they are going to play aggressive cricket. They are maximizing, this is his word, he's saying they are maximizing their strength. And see, this is something, you know, a lot of you sometimes have a go at us when we are reporting from the ground, that, you know, you guys are saying you're being critical of the Indian team, you know, by saying that they're not maximizing their strength. But listen, this is how the opposition was seeing them. This is how the opposition, now we know, this is how the opposition kind of gauged them. They knew that they are tentative. They knew that they're not going to maximize their strength. What do you mean by maximizing the strength? That even though they have a good batting lineup, they never end up using that entire batting lineup. They are so consumed with not losing wicket, they are so consumed by the top order doing well, that they sometimes don't utilize that entire batting lineup. And now that approach has changed. The English camp is admitting it, and the English camp is telling us the earlier approach was different. Interestingly, Rohit Sharma said that, and I love this fact about Rohit Sharma in the press conference, that now they are not just talking about it, there is a change in approach. He mentioned that India-Bangladesh game, and that's something, if you saw my match report, that is something that I had said too, and it was lovely to hear Rohit Sharma say that. I spoke about India's approach, saying that that was the perfect game India, Bangladesh, the way they batted, that was a perfect game because that was giving us an idea of how the Indian team wants to bat. Exactly that Rohit Sharma said in the press conference today. He said for us, the perfect game was Bangladesh because only one batter got a 50. Everyone else got 20, 30s, 20, 30s. But guess what? We got 190 plus. We got a more than competitive total. That is maximizing your strength. That is using all your batters, trusting all your batters and not just depending on the top order. If they score, we'll be okay because we don't trust the lower order. No, that mindset has changed. You are now maximizing. So you're saying if you're playing with 8 batting, because we need that balance, then might as well use those 8 batters. What's the point that, you know, the 75-80% of the game will be just played by top order, we conserve our wicket, and then the remaining 20% we want the remaining 6 batters to do well or remaining 5 batters to get you runs. Won't happen. You got to even it out, you got to balance it out, and I think that's exactly what the Indian team has thought about it, and Indian team is doing it, and opposition is noticing it. You can clearly make out now from the statements that we are receiving from both camps. So that's a very interesting point that was raised by the English coach Matthew Mott, who just came. The other thing he spoke about, he said, and that's again very interesting insight, he says that, you know, everyone is talking about spin friendly pitches in Guyana. He said actually it's not that it's a big turner. It's not that it's a big turner. What he thinks is the reason spinners are doing well, and I think that's a great insight. He said the reason the spinners are doing well, one, because it is a bit of an uneven bounce, up and down bounce, so the players really are not sure on a particular ball, you know, to charge it or go back. So the uneven bounce is what is making spinners really dangerous. Maybe some of the batters are getting caught in front of the stumps leg before and so on and so forth. The other thing he said, why spinners are doing well compared to the fast bowlers, is like, because now, again, great insight. He said now for fast bowlers, there is another area of the ground that batters are using, that is behind the keeper, that area, because, you know, reverse, paddle, all of that, you know, late cuts, you're gliding it. So that area comes into play, and that's why fast bowlers are becoming expensive, because with the pace of the fast bowlers, batters are using behind that area. But he's saying with spinners, that area is eliminated. With the spinners, there's rarely a chance you're going to play that late cut over the wicket keeper or some ramp shots behind the wicket keeper or much finer than fine leg and third man. And so that is what he said. So that is what ensures that fast bowlers end up giving more runs and spinners are more economical in this ground. So that's the other insight that the English camp came up with. He also spoke about the fact that he was asked that you don't know Guyana much, and he accepted. He said, yes, we are not very familiar with the conditions here. The opposition team is far more familiar with the conditions here, but he's like, this tournament has been such, they are pretty much playing a must-win game. After that loss to Australia, England have had to play a must-win game. So he said that's helped us, you know, push ourselves and go forward. The other thing that he spoke about, and which is very interesting, he said that one thing that the captain today told the team, and they've had a team meeting in the morning, and he gave us an insight as to what the team meeting was all about. He said the most important thing and the first thing that the captain told the remaining team members, said treat it like any other game. You know, that fear of failure in the video that I spoke about, which Rohit Sharma said, he said that fear of failure they take out by treating it just like any other game, and that's the conversation that the captain had with his team today, and that's been their secret of success. That's been the area where they worked on, which is why, yes, you could have a situation like the 50 over World Cup, they don't even qualify, that's another matter, not in good form, but on occasions they qualify for the knockouts. Their success rate is dependent on the fact that they just treat it, they condition their minds in a way that they just treat it like every other game, and that's the conversation that the English team has had. Going to be sprint-friendly conditions. Expect England to play 3 spinners. Moeen will be there. Liam Livingstone is going to be bowling. Of course, you'll have Adil Rashid, who did very well in the last semi-final. Those are the spinners that you have to watch out for. The English camp was high praise. By the way, the English camp has been watching the Indian team, the way they've been batting. They were high praise for the performance of this Indian team. The other thing which is interesting is because he was asked that, why do you think India, you know, fail at that final hurdle, the hurdle of semis and finals? He said, you know what, we look at it differently. We think that India is the most consistent team that there is. He says, yes, you know, it's a knockout game, there are more chances of you not succeeding than you are, and once you reach a knockout stage, all 4 teams have a chance of winning. But the fact that India consistently have been reaching the top 4 and the final more than any other team in international cricket, which is true. He said that in itself tells you that there is a great bunch of players that are there right now with the Indian team, and that's also a rare thing. Not any other team. Look at England, look at Australia. Talking about the other top teams, they haven't reached Pakistan, whichever other teams that have played semis or final, New Zealand that have played semi-finals but haven't made the top 4 with as much consistency as the Indian team is playing. And I'm giving you an outsider's perspective. England really appreciates that. So that's the latest from the English camp. I hope you're enjoying our content. If you are, please, once again, big request, subscribe to it if you haven't already. I know a lot of you are subscribers. Some of you who aren't, show us some love, subscribe to the channel, give us a like, share it with your WhatsApp groups, your cricketing friends, whoever want to know the latest updates about the T20 World Cup. We're bringing you analysts, experts. You heard from Harbhajan Singh, you're going to hear from Sunil Gavaskar, various other experts about it, and also the latest weather updates, pitch updates, 11, all of that is going to be coming your way on Sports Today. So do subscribe. I'll see you later. Nikhil Nas for the moment, signing off. Take care.